I mean, if you're Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard sitting in the team bus right now, you're like, okay,
that was a win.
They think this is a perfect start for them, and they are right. Meanwhile, Remco's in the team bus, Roglic is in the team bus, Almeida, Yates, et cetera, losing 39 seconds on day one. This is all what we talked about yesterday. Boom. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast. Talking about stage one. Alain, where did we start and finish? I have a feeling it's the same place. Tell us.
Stage one, from Lille Métropole to Lille Métropole. From Lille Métropole to Lille Métropole.
Of course, I'm joined by Sir Bradley Wiggins, Mr. George Hincapie, Mr. George Hincapie over there. Today's show brought to you by Zwift. Zwift recently rolled out its new cog and click product. Check this thing out. Check this thing, G. It's such a simple yet brilliant product. You can use almost any bike you already own, even one from just any old random store you bought, and it still feels like you're on a top-end smart trainer. Now, Zwift-ready trainers are available from all the top manufacturers, Wahoo, Garmin, Elite, Jet Black, and Decathlon, setting a new benchmark for indoor training. All Zwift-ready trainers come with the new Zwift Cog and Click installed, making them ready to ride from the box, no extras needed. So simple and no need to remove your cassette. Zwift-ready trainers start at just $299, meaning anyone can jump into world-class indoor training without breaking the bank. Good news for you, Mr. Hincapie. Also today brought to you by Element. Folks, the sun is back out here in Aspen, Colorado. G and I are going to go ride later. Maybe do some sweating.
Oh, yeah. We ready.
Sir Bradley got him a mountain bike last year. He did not bring it to the Rocky Mountains.
No, I'm doing the gym.
He's working out in the gym. As we can see, the man has been in the gym.
I'm on the gym.
But our go-to hydration source is Element. Folks, you hear us talk about it all the time because it is that time of the year where you sweat your face off. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, no sugar, no gluten, no artificial ingredients, no BS. It is the real deal. And best of all, if you don't like it, give it to a friend and Element will refund you. Get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinklmnt.com/themove. Find your favorite Element flavor or share with a friend. That's drinklmnt.com/themove. Last one here for a sec. Today's show also brought to you by Timeline. As someone who's trained hard most of his life, I think about this. I'm 54 years old. I think I'm training hard for 40 years. So as someone who has trained hard for almost 40 years, I've learned that real performance doesn't just come from the gym. It starts at the cellular level. That's why I take MitoPure from Timeline. It's a supplement that supports cellular energy by helping your body renew its mitochondria, those tiny powerhouses inside your cells that start to slow down as you age. The science is strong. MitoPure is clinically shown to improve muscle strength in just a few months, and it supports healthy aging at the cellular level, which is something that we should all care more about each and every year. Head on over to timeline.com/themove to get started. You'll get 20% off as a listener of the show. Again, that's timeline.com/themove. All right, let's talk about stage one. Quick shout out, Jasper Philipsen, incredible. I mean, on all levels, incredible. His 10th stage win in the last 4 editions of the Tour de France. Absolutely perfect teamwork. But before we do, I have to, of course, most of y'all know I'm from Austin, Texas. Most people in Austin consider ourselves really Central Texans or people from the Hill Country. It's a beautiful part of Texas. We proudly think it is the most beautiful part of Texas. I would be remiss if I did not, and on behalf of the entire team here, the unspeakable tragedy that occurred 2 days ago in the area of Kerrville and Hunt, primarily, really at all of the summer camps, but primarily at Camp Mystic, where there's, by most accounts, up to 20 young girls still missing because of the flood. Our thoughts and prayers go out to each and every one of their families. This is a part of the state that I'm well familiar with. George and I were talking this morning. We actually did training camps down in Hunt and Kerrville way back in the day, national team camps. When the summer camps were not being used, the federation and the national team, they would let us use them. And so we know these roads, we know the gorgeous area. Fingers crossed, and again, our thoughts and prayers go out with everybody there. Terrible. So thanks for allowing me to acknowledge that. I know it's not a great way to start, but it's again unspeakable and heartbreaking to watch. Let's get back to the race. Bradley, you said it. I mean, you said this first week is going to be filthy. We didn't have to wait long. I mean, I woke up and there was already a breakaway. There was a crash in the KOM. There was mechanicals. There was wind. Everything, boom, right out of the gate. Hello, welcome to the tour.
I think it went as we expected, didn't it? That first stage. But at the same time, I think the casualties are very few. Ganna, of course, hasn't finished the race today. I think he was the most severe. Nor did Bissiger. But I think other than that, everyone came through relatively unscathed. The main hitters, the guys we're going to be looking at in 3 weeks' time. But it was a great stage, and if it's a taste of what's to come the next few days, then we got as we expected, a great race on our hands.
Yeah, I believe, like we forecasted yesterday, that stage was an epic stage one. People going off into the grass. We saw Remco, Evan Cool in the grass. Just the nerves and the tension were extremely high. But like you guys mentioned, the first attack went. 5 guys seeing the douches, as Bradley's shirt says, were gone. And I believe that's because the riders behind knew that the stage was going to be so chaotic, so stressful, so windy, that when you have small roads, wind like that, there's no other thing to do but to race hard and stay in the front. So everybody's pushing to stay in the front. That makes the speed a lot higher. That makes the race a lot more dangerous. That said, for the top guys like Jonas and Pogačar, this was a great day for them, because when you come into a first stage of the Tour de France and you're only coming in with 35 guys, you're like, thank God I'm not worrying about crashing now. Yeah. I had to go hard to get there, but this is perfect scenario. Wiesma had 4 or 5 guys up there, super well represented. It's a win for them.
38 riders in that front group. They ended up finishing with about a 39-second time gap. But yes, you're those 5 or 6 guys that are in that early break. You turn around, you're like, you're clear. You're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to worry about whatever is going on there in the back. Now, of course, you then start thinking, well, maybe this race starts to get selective with some wind, and I find myself in that front group. That didn't happen. Oftentimes doesn't. But you mentioned those 2 guys in the front. Look, I mean, if you're Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard sitting in the team bus right now, you're like, okay.
Yeah, that was a win.
They think this is a perfect start for them, and they are right. Meanwhile, Remco's in the team bus, Roglic is in the team bus, Almeida, Yates, et cetera, losing 39 seconds on day one. This is all what we talked about yesterday.
Mm-hmm. The whole Bora team, in fact, I believe had nobody in the first group. Spencer, is that right? So think about that. You're a team that's a favorite for the podium. I could just imagine Johan Brunel in the bus right now, yelling his ass off at us, going, how the hell do you miss a group of 40 guys? You know there's wind coming. There's no surprises here. It's going to split. You cannot miss that.
You're right. Not one rider. Compare and contrast, Uno X, the young Scandinavian team, 3 or 4 riders, not just making the selection, riding on the front.
Yeah, I mean, I actually spoke to Thor this morning, who runs that team. Spencer's son is a huge fan of that team, so hopefully he's with those guys right now getting a water bottle or whatever. But, I mean, you're correct, Lance. Having 4 guys in a breakaway of 39 guys, the first real selection of the Tour de France, being an upstart team, man, that's impressive. What a way to start the Tour de France. And 3rd place, nonetheless. They got the podium as well.
Also caught out Tim Merlier.
Yep.
As well as Jonathan Milan. So if we talk about outcomes, because Johan and Spencer had the show yesterday, the 2 top favorites were Merlier and Jonathan Milan. I think Merlier was plus 150. Milan was plus 250. Jasper Philipsen, here this guy's just won his 10th stage win in 4 years. He was plus 400. So he was the 3rd best favorite. makes us like. Anyways, those two sprinters, Merlier and Milan, don't even make. I shouldn't say don't even. They do not make the first selection. They so clearly don't win.
Disaster day for Quick Step. I mean, Remco was the clear favorite for stage 5. Most likely getting the yellow jersey, as Johan said yesterday, for another 4 or 5 stages after that. That technically has gone away. I mean, he's negated his potential advantage in the time trial by giving up 40 seconds today by simply just making a mistake. You cannot miss a group of 39 guys rolling off the front if you were a favorite of the Tour de France.
But does that say a lot about his team, George? Because we saw Visma were ever present at the front, so were UAE. We saw Jonas Vingegaard being extra vigilant on the front today, at times leaving his own team behind. Right. And I still don't think Remco has a team that is capable of delivering him for a potential win in the Tour de France.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, we did not see those guys up front that much. Being a team that comes from classic dominance. I mean, this is their terrain. They should be right up there representing the front all day, and we did not see that today. Like I keep mentioning, is a disaster start for Quick Step.
I mean, if you're look, I mean, the team is none of us are inside of that team, and nor are we inside of any team. But you can just imagine, right? To me, the team feels rudderless, right? If Johan Brunel was running that team and you were doing a meeting before and you were whiteboarding how you thought the Tour would start, you would say, okay, Tim Merlier always wins the first stage of most stage races. So boom, we're going to get a stage win. We're going to already have a yellow jersey. We're going to protect Remco, and we're going to wait for that time trial and have him win potentially win the time trial, and then protect that, right? That whiteboard just got erased.
Yeah. I mean, and Remco is no panic cookie in the win. The guy can make pretty much any selection there is. I'm just wondering if something's going on, because I just cannot understand how he would miss that split. And Primoz, for that matter. I mean, Boris got a really great team. I think Lipowitz might have had a mechanical, so he was kind of already behind the 8 ball when that started happening. But a guy like Primoz should be there. He's very, very good in the crosswind as well, and has a great team behind him. I don't understand how these guys missed it.
Plenty of mechanicals.
It's going to be the talk of the whole Tour de France that those two guys missed that selection.
Roglic was. I saw some comments that he made about this tour, and maybe that's just the perception he wants to put out there. That, I mean, look, the guy has had a fantastic career. He's had plenty of bad luck, but he was very casual about this tour. So I think those are two different situations, right? Remco's situation, going back to that whiteboard, potentially winning the time trial. By the way, still win the time trial and could still take the jersey. Lost 39 seconds. Is not out of that. But Roglic just seems to be it's a more casual vibe.
Do we think Roglic is still a contender for the Tour de France, or his best days behind him now?
I do. I mean, the guy's won 5 Grand Tours.
You do what?
I think he's a contender.
Okay.
Certainly for the podium. Has a great team behind him. Has great preparation for the Tour de France. And I'm not saying he's out of it. Like I mentioned before, he's been behind in other Grand Tours and has clawed his way back. Obviously, he's got the monster of Pogačar 40 seconds ahead of him now, and Jonas Vingegaard, which is not an ideal situation, but I'm a big fan of his. And
he's fallen out of a few Tour de France's with crashes, though, hasn't he?
The last 3 years, I believe.
Do you think that was probably on his mind a little bit today, playing it cautious?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Definitely. But like I mentioned, we all know what it's like in these crosswind sections. Yeah. I mean, the tension is so high, but if you don't make that extra effort just to close that gap and it's so worth making that split.
Of course,
because it's instantly 10 times safer. Yeah. You have to work harder to get there, but once you're there, you're like, great, I'm not crashing today. I mean, although we did see a crash with Ben O'Connor, which is super rare in a group of 40 guys. I mean, the guys at this level shouldn't be crashing over a speed bump, but that's just an indication of how hard the race actually was and how hard it was to make that selection of 40 guys. But like I keep mentioning, once you're in that selection of 40, you're pretty much as safe as you can be in a Tour de France peloton.
Look, everybody knows that the Tour de France it's arguably the hardest physical sporting event in the world. But it's also it's very much a mental game, right? So if you're Tadej or you're Jonas, you're in the team bus, uneventful day, your team was there, they protected you. In fact, Visma Leespike arguably made the selection. So you're saying, okay, we controlled the hammer today. But if you are a Remco or a Roglic, and I'll just use those two because I think Almeida and Yates are truly there to support. You're sitting there mentally. You're like, I can't imagine having been in that position. I'd be in the bus like, oh no, did I just lose this thing? It's just because you got to, they're going to go again tomorrow. Yeah. You got to go to bed. You got to wake up and you got to do it all over.
You never want to give up 40 seconds. Another person we did not mention that was not in that first group, which I'm shocked to see, was Wout van Aert. So maybe that pre-Tour de France sickness is still kind of lingering because he is one of, if not the best guy in the world when it comes to crosswind and sketchy stages like this. So that's kind of a surprise to not see him up there.
He's definitely on the podium for that.
Yeah.
Back to Phillipsen for a second. I mean, the kids, all right, this is the first PSA of 2025. If you're a sprinter and you want to build a team around you, just watch today's stage. That demonstration from Alpes and Phoenix, I mean, that is the way. By the way, he won by 3 bike links.
Yeah.
He had,
that was a display.
That is, it obviously helps to have a motorcycle like Matthew van der Poel starting the lead out, and a Caden Groves who's won endless stages in Grand Tours. That's the way you win a sprint.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with 5K to go, Van der Poel took a pull and just essentially split the whole first group and rode away from everybody with 2 guys on his wheel. I mean, he's got that much power. And then to come back and get back on the front with a K to go and give a perfect lead out to Caden Groves, who once those 2 guys start going, I mean, there's not many people in the world that can go around that train.
Also worth noting, I don't remember if I said this earlier, this is his first yellow jersey. In his post-race interview, he spent a lot of time talking about just how that's going to feel. You would think, right? And you went 10 stages in the last 4 years. You would have thought one of them might have been the first or second stage, first yellow jersey. So, a guy like him, who's going to go down as one of the best sprinters of all time, super proud of that.
Let's not forget the guy is one of the most dynamic sprinters we've seen in a long time. He got second place in Paris-Roubaix. He can do the hardest classics in the world, be right up there with the best, and as you saw today, the fastest guy in the world as well.
Another fun fact from Spencer. Thank you, Spencer. Jasper Philipsen, at just 27 years old, is already the 4th amongst active riders in terms of Grand Tour stage wins. He has 13 stage wins, so he's behind Pogačar, Roglic, and Chris Froome. Yes, folks, Chris Froome is still active in the peloton.
He is.
And he's gotten all of them, but one of them in the last 5 years. Very impressive.
Very impressive. Can I bust out my props that I've been kind of saving up for 5 months, or we got to talk about something else? But we're obviously going to keep talking about the race, but.
Yeah, this is the move. So
I tried to do it yesterday, but I wanted to commemorate I think today's better, like you said, Lance. We're commemorating the start of the Tour de France, our debut live on NBC and Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
So I went skiing here.
Wait, we're live on Peacock? I was just pretending like we were doing a podcast.
My wife is back home watching it, but we went skiing here, and we got our boy back at the house over here with his own coffee brand. So I thought it'd be a great idea to hand out tumblers to our whole team.
Okay.
To commemorate today's first stage of the Tour de France, and a bit of our selfless logo with our team logo on there. Here you go, Bradley.
All right.
Love you guys. I got it for the whole team. You want to zoom in, guys? Right here. My friend Abby had them made. My wife and her designed it. So this is for the whole team. I got them for everybody.
You might, dear Abby. I think that was a thing growing up. Dear Abby.
Thank you.
Dear Abby, thank you. But this, I don't think these are for coffee.
Well, you can put whatever you want.
No, I think these are rosé tumblers.
Oh, even better. It is the weekend.
Better for you.
Yeah, better for me.
Sir Bradley and I will probably take a pass.
You can put coffee in there. How about that?
We're going to take a pass on the rosé.
Yeah.
A lot of people say yes way rosé.
You say.
Sir Bradley and I say no way.
I'm proud of you guys.
Rosé.
I'm very proud of you guys.
Look at this, mother. Look at this guy.
Jack
Beast. Beast. All right, what else?
We had to talk about that KOM crash. Oh my goodness. I was on the phone watching this and just unfolded.
I had gone upstairs to change, and I could hear, and I was watching on my phone, and I could hear you down there thinking that I wasn't watching. And you're yelling throughout the house. Did you see that? Come on, bro.
Look,
I don't.
This guy, okay, some people.
I got to tell you, my heart went out for him.
Yes.
I mean, it's everything about it was weird.
Yeah.
It was the cobbles.
It was the cobbles,
the bouncing of the bike,
That's what
sprinting
I'm
in the saddle.
going to mention. I
just
mean,
caught the front wheel.
Yeah.
There was nothing good about that.
not only that, you saw how hard he was going for that sprint. I mean, as hard as you can possibly go, 210 heart rate. I mean, this guy is no panic cooking. Olympic champion. He's won all kinds of stuff on the track. Can handle his bike probably better than 5% of the whole pro peloton. So it just saw how hard he was going. And on the cobblestones, man, you try sprinting on the cobblestones. It's not an easy task.
and how stiff the bikes are now.
And how stiff the bikes are, yes.
Yeah. Well,
what did you say about the King of the Mountains competition before we came?
no, I know. I mean, I knew this was going to come up. I just think, and for folks that have listened forever, you know, I don't know. I don't want to spend 3 weeks ragging on the polka dot jersey, all right? And we're day one.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna. It's just. Can we? But I don't know. Maybe just give it out at the end, right? We can all decide who was the best. I mean, we're gonna know who the best climber was in the race. It was hard to watch. And by the way, I like this Tomac kid. This kid's a bike racer. But man, I don't.
Did you win the polka dot one year?
Stop with this.
He did.
No, you won it in the Tour de l'Avenir. But how close did you win it in the Tour de France?
I don't know. But
He did get it in the Tour de France.
Froome's won it, hasn't he? Froome's won the polka dot and the GC in the same year.
Yeah. I believe you wore it once in the Tour de France.
Wore it or won it?
Wore it.
That's a Johan question.
Because you went for the points, didn't you? You made it a goal that morning.
Here, look.
Hey, by the way, the Tour de France or the KOM battle worked to our benefits many times.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys, their only objective is to win the KOM jersey. So what happens? Somebody slips up the road. That's potentially a risk to us, but a bit major risk for the KOM jersey. So other teams are going to go up and do the work that we would normally have to do. So we used it to our benefit many years.
You can use all of these categories to your advantage, right? You know, I mean, teams will fight to defend the team classification. They'll fight to defend all of these. These are, and I'll get to the polka dot jersey. I mean, look, obviously they have significant sponsorship dollars behind the race, including all of the jerseys. So it's important. It's important for the race's revenue. I just think, look, I think the green jersey is always represents the best and most consistent sprinter in the Tour. Obviously, the white jersey speaks for itself. The polka dot jersey is more opportunistic. Now, today, if you go look at the classification today, and we saw him win that sprint and then crash almost simultaneously. He got 2 points, right? So he won the first intermediate KOM. And he basically won the second one. So he has 2 points. Vingegaard actually won the third one. So he has 1 point.
Which is kind of odd to see him sprint for that. But
right. In the grand scheme are not going to matter. But also, too, any category in the Tour de France, the winner of it should represent the best of that category. Right? If some guy, look, here's the best example. Who always won the polka dot jersey in our generation?
Richard Virenque.
Was Richard Virenque the best climber in the race?
No.
Of course not. Was he a very good climber? Yes, absolutely. Was he the best climber in the race?
Same as Jalabert. Jalabert used to win as well.
Jalabert. I mean, these are. So this is my point. And I look, man, I don't want to start these 3 weeks just busting on things and people. But yes, I did. I did win the polka dot jersey at the Tour de l'Avenir.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm good about giving the opportunistic teams some love. They need to get some publicity as well. First stage of the Tour de France, obviously Benjamin Thomas made it his goal to get the KOM jersey. He's on the podium of the Tour de France on TV. That's what it's all about. You got to give these teams hope and give them
and it's a talking point.
Attainable goals.
Yeah. Because if we didn't have a mountains competition, would the race be as interesting?
Yes. And there's other ways to determine who is the best climber. A couple things. One, George, it's really sweet of you to acknowledge as the man who's just started a new cycling team.
Thank you.
I believe that you believe that. Secondly, Johan said, I never, ever wore the polka dot jersey in the Tour de France. I just came up on the group text.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a year where
I can't believe we just spent 5 minutes talking about the polka dot jersey.
Hey, look, that was the whole action of the first part of today's stage. I think it really, helped the stage, shape the stage, and it was really interesting to watch. It was exciting.
Yep. Because at some point we do have to, but there was one other thing I was going to mention. Oh goodness. Yeah. One of those days. We're just getting revved up, guys.
Yeah, we're getting revved up. I think.
By the way, did everybody have a good fourth? Because I would just like to tell everybody about my fourth. Very different than years past on this vein of no way rosé. It was just stressful. We did the pre-show. The fourth has always been a big day. It's at the last couple of years I've chilled. But hey, people want to go rip. I do think that Aspen, Colorado represents the best of sort of America when it comes to an in-town parade, and you really get that feel. I love that. So I know, G, you caught a little of that.
No, I watched a bit bike ride.
Caught a bit of that.
Yeah.
Were you flying the Union Jack out there or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
It was our most chill 4th of July ever.
Yeah.
Sheesh and I went for a great bike ride. We had a late lunch, and then your wife Anna made an awesome dinner, and we sat around and watched TV. It was fun.
And I skipped the bike ride, and most of the bike ride, because we did do a little bike ride early. And then I went on a solo hike up in the mountains, and I got a little caught out. I was out there. I was like, And I'm thinking to myself, I'm getting like an hour plus in, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm not even halfway. So thank God I brought my water jug. I'm like, wow, I'm going to be parched by the time we get done with this. But anyways, hope everybody had a good fourth. We're going to just go ahead and accelerate this. I know we have
speaking of the fourth, we got a shout out to American Muscle, Quinn Simmons today. How much work did he do early on? I think he pulled for over 50 kilometers.
Yes.
By himself. I don't get it. I mean, obviously great to see him at the front, but I'd like to see him saving a bit for the
I was curious.
days.
Look, I know this kid is proud. This kid, he's got the stars and stripes on his back. He's got great legs. Every time they flashed to the front of the race, he was pulling.
Yeah.
And so...
Milan's wearing green tomorrow.
No, because of the points.
Yeah, he won the intermediate sprint, so they've got something out the race.
Attaboy. All right, we are going to take a quick break for our friends over at Peacock, and we will be right back in 2 and 30. 2 and 30. 2 and 30. All right, Chuck. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to The Move. One other thing that just caught our attention, and this is... I don't know where I sit on this. Well, actually, I have an opinion on it. Overall, I'm not sure where I sit, but I would like to opine. As we saw, Ganna had they didn't really catch it. They missed it. They saw him on the ground. He had to do a shoe change. We've talked a lot about people having, or in the past, we've talked about having rain bags in the car, which has, God forbid it got really cold. You'd have an undershirt or some arm warmers or some gloves, certainly a raincoat. You also in that bag have a spare pair of shoes, which most people are like, what? What's going to happen to your shoe? Oftentimes you crash and, something can happen to the binding of the shoe. Something can happen to the cleat. So you saw him changing that right shoe. But then we mostly saw him alone. Now, of course, he went on to drop out. And they've talked about this for years. And this has been a part of cycling tradition that if you crash or you have a mechanical and you're alone, well, there is no way to catch 200 guys. No. I don't care who you are. And
he actually got back up. But
traditionally, and so traditionally you've motor paced off the cars, or you've gotten a sticky bottle, or the mechanic has kind of pretended to do a derailleur adjustment. Well, et cetera, et cetera. But there has been talk in years past of just not allowing anybody to ever get into the car. So if you're alone, well, good luck. And I think we saw a little bit of that with Ganna. Love your thoughts on that, boys, and then I'll come over the top.
Yeah, I mean, he was I saw the interview with Geraint Thomas at the finish where he went through the concussion protocol. So there might have been a bit of concussion. That might be one of the reasons why he came out. We don't know yet until we find out. But apparently he caught back up, which I was surprised because at 1 minute he was 3 minutes 40 down.
He was riding through groups and they couldn't even stay on his wheel. So the power was clearly there. A clear favorite for the 5th stage coming up here next week.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a yellow card rule now. 2 yellow cards in a 30-day period.
In a 30-day period.
30-day period.
Yeah.
And it's still at the discretion the commissar, whoever's giving out those yellow cards, as to what he deems an unfair advantage has been taken.
I mean, the question for me is you have the caravan, 23 cars this year, and then all the media cars and the race organizers cars. So essentially
medical car.
40, 50 cars behind. So you're telling me there's a crash, right? 10 guys go down. Are they stopping the cars now instantly, or they're leaving the caravan there?
That's at the discretion of the commissar who's on the motorbike.
I get it if you're pacing behind your car, trying to get back to the thing. I get it. You get a yellow card. But are they really going to stop the caravan that will potentially put other riders who did not crash at risk in case they get a flat tire? I don't think so. So there's going to be ways to play with that system. We all know kind of how to, float the cars on the way back and hopefully not get the yellow cards. I'm guessing. I don't know the rule exactly, but that's the way I'm envisioning it.
Listen, as certainly you and I know, George, there's certain parts of the history of this sport that needed to be adjusted.
Yep.
This is not one of them. I can't imagine. This has been a part of cycling for 100 years. Now, you could say, well, if Tadej Pogačar crashes, he's going to have an entire team come back and get him. Great. So now he's got 7 guys pulling him. It's still very, very difficult, almost impossible at times to catch 200, especially if those 200 don't want you to come back.
Yeah.
The system has worked, right? It's on paper or in theory, is it some sort of advantage? Of course. But that system has worked now.
We just need clarification on the rule.
And the other thing we need, and this is where cycling always messes up, always, is consistency.
Yeah.
So whatever your rule is going to be today, tomorrow, the next 3 weeks, the next 6 months, okay, that's our rule. Now, and it is consistent.
Yeah.
Right? There's not some races where the commissar says, I don't really care. And then all of a sudden, guys might get used to that. They come into the race, yellow card. All of a sudden, second yellow card, out of the race.
We need Johan and Spencer to dig into this rule because you cannot put another team or another rider that had nothing to do with said crash at risk of not having a team car if they get a flat tire or if they crash later on. Like that goes against all logics of cycling. Again, so my thought is they cannot stop the caravan.
It's the way that it's been done. Nobody is winning a bike race like the Tour de France because of that. Now you're obviously,
you can lose it.
Well, you can certainly prevent yourself from losing it or lose it.
Yeah.
I just think
there have been some extreme cases, haven't they? Nibali, I remember in the Vuelta, got thrown out of the race, coming through groups, holding onto the car. But
well, now, I mean, look, okay, all right. See, this is where it gets gray and confusing. Wow, I didn't. That sounds almost. Never mind. I was about to say something, not something. Today's show also brought to you by Ketone IQ. By the way, that is our presenting sponsor. Dum here. That's me. Forgot to mention that at the top. They are a presenting sponsor each and every day of this year's Tour de France. The cool thing about Ketone IQ, other than the fact I'm about to drink one, is they've rolled out all these new flavors. I'm going to go peach today. What do we have here? Another peach. One of them has caffeine. This is going to replace all that crap that sits at the convenience store when you go check out. That stuff that you drink and you go take a leak. And if you had a match anywhere near, you're in trouble. Ketone IQ has totally changed the game. Lots of science, lots of research going into this product. A really tight partnership with Visma Lease Bike. So just some of the stats, right? In a placebo-controlled study with trained athletes, improvement of 19% in peak power. Peak power by 13%, sprint power by 19%, cutting fatigue by 10%, spiking blood ketones 5 times in just 20 minutes. Faster recovery as well. I think we think about it and talk about it a lot from the performance standpoint, but we're also learning that it can really help recovery, as I know a lot of you folks care about. Here's the deal. Take your shot. Get 30% off your subscription plus a free gift with your second shipment at ketone.com/Spencer. TheMove. Am I the only one drinking ketones? Because I'm going to go riding with George after this.
I'm going to have another one right before we go riding too.
Also today brought to you by Ecoy. Gee, you're rolling with these guys in your team.
Yeah, we are. They're actually sponsoring our team next year with helmets, shoes, and glasses. I'm excited.
Ecoy is a leading brand in Europe specializing in cycling equipment from head to toe. It is one of the few brands that truly develops its products in close collaboration with professional athletes across all disciplines: road, triathlon, gravel, and mountain bike. Ecoy is the most represented brand in this Tour de France with 4 teams wearing their products: Israel Premier Tech, Lotto Destiny, Arkea B&B Hotels, and Cofidis. Their products are available exclusively online at Ecoy, that's EKOI.com. First and most importantly, if you ride a lot, just know this: Ecoy products offer unbeatable value for the money. And you can also create, this is cool, a unique helmet in your personal colors, like, whatever your colorway is. You can go on the configurator on the website and customize your helmet. The entire Ecoy website is currently on sale until the end of July with discounts of up to 60%. It's hard to find better deals. Special offer with the code THEMOVE15, which means you get $15 off any purchase of $150 made on the Ecoy, EKOI.com website through the end of July.
If you have a moment, go on their Instagram page, and they just posted a really cool video about this helmet.
Of you?
Not of me. No, the helmet. It's worth going on and checking out.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about tomorrow, because
before we go to tomorrow, I did want to. I forgot to mention Uno X not only had 4 guys in the group of 39 for a team that just got invited to the Tour de France. Essentially, Tobias Holland, 5th place in the Dauphiné, was also there. So their GC guy just got a 40-second free gap from some of his main competitors in terms of the top 10 of the Tour de France.
I like this team.
Yeah, me too.
They're hungry, right?
Yeah,
bunch of Vikings.
So they prosper in that windy.
Y'all see that
cold conditions.
Y'all see that? Y'all ever watch that Shane Gillis comedy special on Netflix? Oh, that shit's funny. I won't repeat it on here, but it's funny. He's talking about Vikings and Liz. You what? No, Liz didn't watch it. No.
I haven't watched.
Anyways, somebody watched it, but so they don't know what I'm talking about. That shit's funny.
Tomorrow,
I'll tell you what may not be funny. That's tomorrow. Let's start by looking at the map of tomorrow. I think it's also worth noting too. These stages. I think we're looking at almost 210 kilometers. So in modern cycling, that starts to be a day where you're like, oof, that's a little longer. Tough. That's a little longer. Who's that? Is that me? Oh boy, that's Sir. Is that the king calling?
No.
I almost said, is that the queen calling? That would have been terrible. I said that. 210 kilometers. Now, if you are watching the show, you can see this. If you're not, I'll just describe it. This route is primarily from the east to the west, and as we know, these roads are, and you saw it in today's stage, tight and twisty roads. But primarily from the east to the west. However, when you start to get sort of 3/4 of the way through, they start to head north. If you go look at the weather forecast for tomorrow, there is a chance of rain. It is on the cooler side, and the wind is directly from the west, which means
crosswinds.
And it means crosswinds before we get to this, which is let's call it the last 10 kilometers profile. Look at this. This is day 2 of the Tour de France. Guys are stressed. Guys are on the river. There's already going to be a lot to happen before we get here. This is the last thing. So imagine rolling into this chunky stuff, battling the crosswinds, fighting for position. Look at these things.
Yeah. Bradley and Sir Bradley and I were talking about it before the stage. The last time they went there was 2012 when Sir Bradley won the Tour de France. It was the first week of the Tour de France. I was helping Cadell defend his Tour de France title, so we were kind of battling it out. There was splits early on, windy, narrow roads, hilly, and the finish is no joke. I know because I let it out to about a K to go. Bradley got stuck in the crash, so he got the same time as the first group. But man, that's a really, really tough finish. That I don't know if the graph sort of gives it as much credit as it actually is, but it's going to be an interesting final. And I can see guys like Pogačar and Jonas attacking already with 9K to go on that Category 3 climb.
Yeah, this is a chance for Remco to redeem himself as well.
Well, redemption for him starts by not getting caught out again.
Yeah.
Right? If he can finish on neutral time, what was it you were saying yesterday? It's like a British thing.
What's that?
Finished on 0 time, or what is that?
0 time, yeah. So
is that what y'all say? Because we don't say that.
Not losing any time.
I understand that, but it's not anything we say.
No, you know.
I like it, though. It sounded cool.
We say same time.
We used to say 0 watts as well. If we can have a day of 0 watts.
We're right.
Yeah. That's just virtually impossible.
So describe that. Describe that. I mean, it's saving as much energy.
Make it certain days are going to be flat. There's going to be no danger of crosswinds. There's going to be no danger of other than crashes in the final. But you want to spend as least amount of energy during the day as possible. So you want to be sat in the right position in the bunch. You don't want to be sat too far forward, too far back.
Yeah.
So as
but last year in 2012, and in this particular stage, you guys were at the front the whole day.
We had to be. We lost a rider. We lost Konstantin Sitsov on one of the small crashes because the crowds also in this area, in this region, were huge.
You saw them today.
Yeah.
This really is a cycling-centric
so they make the climbs even narrower.
Yeah. The other thing about this part of France, Lille and the surrounding area, is it's always special when the Tour de France goes somewhere. But places like Lille, Nantes, et cetera, not a lot happens.
No.
There isn't a lot of really special things that come through. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And so, voila, they've got 3 days of the tour in their communities. This is a really big deal. You saw it today. There was just truckloads of people out there.
Well, it's a big deal for the likes of Cofidis as well. Their head offices are in Lille.
Yep.
So it's a Cofidis region, which is why we had Benjamin out front today.
Yeah, and got the K1.
Yeah.
And we'll see that jersey hitting the floors on the cobbles as well. So tons of exposure today.
But folks, it is going to be exciting. We pulled it down from the screen, but I'm looking at it again. I mean, you've got 2 categorized climbs, second from the last. I mean, pieces of 15%. The last one, you've got pieces of 12%. And, it's an uphill finish. So if we're thinking about, for Johan and Spencer and the outcome show, man, I don't know how you pick this one, right? You've got over a kilometer at 4%.
Seeing the power, I can pick it. Although it's what
are you picking?
I'm going to go with the power that we saw Van der Poel have today, riding guys off of his wheel on such a hectic, tough stage. I mean, he just looked incredibly strong. I can see him, even like a Pogacar attack, and him going with him since it's a shorter climb. But the kind of power he has, that's my pick tomorrow.
Gonna be exciting. Wake up early.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's been fun. I just have one more question before we go. Because I spent most of the day, I spent most of the time on my hike yesterday thinking about this. My alone hike, my solo hike. I was out hiking with my favorite person in the world. But I did spend a lot of time thinking about this. I was really getting upset about it. And we do have one more thing to do before we go. But you were sort of bagging on my the energy of yesterday's show. I really spent a lot of time worrying.
I know.
About
I kind of offended you on that one.
I know. And all I'll say is I hope that my energy was better today.
It was great. Yes.
Before we go, Ventum, our good friends of Ventum, each and every day we're going to have the Ventum trivia. We told you yesterday, if you were listening, if not, I'll repeat it. What the prizes are is a $5,000 prize to be put towards any Ventum bike you want. And for now, 10% off site-wide. Go to ventumracing.com/TheMove. Also 20% off any NS1 builds with the code NS120. So here is Stage 1's Ventum Daily Trivia question. Last seen in 2020 due to COVID restrictions, the 2025 Tour de France will play out entirely inside the bounds of its namesake country. A relative rarity, certainly in recent times, despite the name of the race. How many times in the Tour's history has every single stage taken place within France?
That's a tough question.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And I don't either, but you have to imagine most of those early years, obviously never considered leaving, but how many times in the history of the race has it stayed? How many times Yeah. Has every stage taken place within the country of France? Not how many times has it gone out? How many times has it stayed within? I suppose if you solved the second part, you could figure out the first part.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we'll
see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Right.